Good morning or afternoon, everyone. It's March 18th, 2020. I'm going to share a clip with you here from Trump's most recent update here. And then we're going to get into it. So check it out.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, how long do you think this is going to
We'll
last?
get you next, okay? Say it.
Thank you, Mr. President. In talking about China, you've been very clear about who you think is to blame or where the origins to blame for this virus is.
Not think. No. I don't think. I know where it came from. I don't know if you'd say China's to blame. Certainly we didn't get an early run on it. It would have been helpful if we knew about it earlier. But it comes from China. And it's not a question about that. Nobody's questioning that.
Senator Cotton is saying that they should be punished, in so many words, for inflicting this on the American people. Do you feel that way about it?
Well, I have a lot of respect for Tom Cotton, and I know exactly what he's been saying. And there are those people that say that. So we'll see what happens. Thank you.
Okay, so you just heard the question, and we're going to get into this. A lot of people out there are saying that there is no virus. It's just one big hoax. And they used a particular exercise, a war game, as a reference as to why they thought it was a hoax. Well, U.S. Army has halted deployment of troops and tanks to NATO's war game due to pandemic threat. So, I'm not there. I don't know. Like if people are actually dropping dead. I don't know. I'm not there, okay? So, I can't say 100% in either direction. However, one of their arguments has just been proved wrong, okay? Now, over there in Germany, German state celebrates coronavirus, or state media celebrates coronavirus for killing off humans. Isn't that nice of them? They'll celebrate until it's one of their children or parents or grandparents, someone they love. But back to Trump and what he just said. Let's go back to the beginning. Visualizing the secret history of a coronavirus bioweapon. And this is out of Zero Hedge, Tyler Durden. And, we talked about this at the very beginning when it first started, right? Back in, January. Maybe early January. I would have to go look. And I threw out the proposal that maybe the Chinese government took a calculated risk, shall we say, and which, by the way, everyone's been talking about how well China and other Asian countries have handled this pandemic, and, there's been a resurgence there. So it's not going away anytime soon. This problem, whether it be fake, a hoax, or not, it's still a problem to us, the people of this world, right? Well, in my opinion, and just my opinion, again, I don't know, I'm not there. My first inclination regarding this was correct, that it is a bioweapon, and it was released by China, in China. Again, we're looking at a huge, major food shortage here in the months to come. They probably came to the conclusion that a lot of these people are going to be dead anyway, and why not kill two birds with one stone, or one virus. Alright, so the secret history of coronavirus. Visualization based on Great Game India exclusive report on coronavirus bioweapon, how China stole coronavirus from Canada and weaponized it. Alright. So number one, the Saudi SARS sample. This happened on June 13th, 2012. A 60-year-old Saudi man was admitted to a private hospital in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, with a 7-day history of fever, cough, and shortness of breath. He had no history of any heart problems or anything like that, right? He didn't smoke and was not on any medications long term. The Canadian lab. On May 4th, 2013, a sample of the Saudi SARS, aka novel coronavirus, from the very first infected Saudi patient arrived in Canada's National Microbiology Laboratory in Winnipeg. And this was brought there by Ron Faucher, and he's from a medical center there in Rotterdam, Netherlands, who sequenced the virus sample. On March 9th, on March 2019, a mysterious event, a shipment of exceptionally virulent viruses from Canada, ended up in China. The event caused a major scandal, with biowarfare experts questioning why Canada was sending lethal viruses to China. And I undoubtedly covered that. 4 months later, in July of 2019, a group of Chinese virologists were forcibly dispatched from the Canadian lab, the only Level 4 facility equipped to handle the world's deadliest diseases, where coronavirus samples from the first Saudi patient was being examined, the only one in Canada. The scientists who were escorted out of the lab were, along with members of her research team, is a Chinese biowarfare agent, some shit that I cannot pronounce. She is married to another Chinese scientist, Dr. Keding Chen, the couple is responsible for infiltrating Canada's lab. So, the man doctor there made at least 5 trips to Wuhan National Biosafety Laboratory, located only 20 miles from the Hunan Seafood Market, which is the epicenter. The Canadian investigation into Chinese biological espionage is ongoing, and questions remain whether previous shipments to China of other viruses or other essential preparations took place from 2006 to 2018. Sorry, folks, I had to take my phone call. But let me repeat this. The Canadian investigation into Chinese biological espionage is ongoing, and questions remain whether previous shipments to China of other viruses or other essential preparations took place from 2006 to 2018. So, these people were embedded for what? 12 years? So, you know, I am leaning towards this explanation. And remember, it was my very first proposal as to where this came from. Now, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But in my opinion, the first shots of World War III have been fired. The economy is rapidly collapsing. So I'm really having a hard time believing that this is a hoax. When they had the argument that there was a major war game still going forward, it was believable. Because, again, we're not there. We don't witness the deaths. And until it affects people personally, they're probably just not going to believe it. You know, denial is a human coping mechanism. So, and, well, people are going to deny it until it's very, very apparent that it's real. Okay? And that's unfortunate. It really is. But, so, to recap here, they sat on information for well over a month, the Chinese. And then to add insult to injury, they allowed for people to be jumping on flights there in China, going all over the world. In my opinion, they deliberately done this. In my opinion, they were willing to sacrifice their own citizens to gain a upper hand. In my opinion. Could I be wrong? Of course. Of course I can be wrong. But I don't think so. I really don't. And there has been an earthquake in Utah. I believe it was a 5.7, and there are tremors ongoing. Now, Donald Trump has invoked Defense Production Act in response to this bioweapon. They have deployed FEMA in all regions. This is not good, people. We all know what FEMA is in control of. We all know that FEMA is the government during a crisis, right? They are the ones responsible for continuity of government. We all have heard about the supplies that these people order. As a matter of fact, some time back, I went over some of these purchase orders for hydrogen cyanide, along with other, let's say, nefarious equipment. And for my longtime subscribers, I'm sure you remember. So, tell me what you think, people. Do you think it's a hoax? Or do you think shit is hitting the fan? Till next time, you kill the state, live free.